There has never been a greater time than now to invest in the Metro Detroit area, and there is no other investment firm better qualified than Platinum Real Estate Holdings. With 40 years experience and over 1,000 homes sold, let Platinum Real Estate Holdings assist you with the purchase of a city-certified home of the highest quality. Turnkey properties, screen renters, yielding instant cash flow. Well, what are you waiting for? Call or visit us online today.
Welcome to the weekly recap for the week of July 18th. In today's recap, we'll teach you how to calculate the value of multifamily real estate. Next, we'll share 5 things everyone should know about condo ownership. And lastly, what to do with extra cash when you want to invest in homes, but housing inventory is very low. This week's recap begins now. First, we'll tackle how to calculate the value of multifamily real estate. Most consumers do not grasp the difference between price and the value of a product or service. Price is simply the amount of money paid or charged for something. Value, on the other hand, focuses on the long-term aspect of the purchase. Investing in multifamily property is a focus on value or a focus on the long term. Before we dive into analyzing the value of multifamily property, I would like to discuss the term hyperbolic discounting, which states that the further away a reward is, the less motivated an individual is to achieve it. If you have a choice between earning $100 in 2 weeks and earning $500 in 18 months, most people will choose the present reward over the future reward overwhelmingly. This is a classic example of instant gratification versus long-term value. Popular strategies such as wholesaling and flipping properties employ a much shorter time horizon than multifamily investments. A wholesaler can earn a profit in a matter of weeks, while a multifamily investor usually needs to dedicate a much longer time horizon to execute his business plan to generate his return. Other challenges that investors encounter when deciding upon multifamily investments could be a lack of capital or a lack of experience, but far more prevalent is the inability to focus on the long-term reward of investing in multifamily properties. But if you understand the value and various benefits that multifamily offers, the decision of delayed gratification is a no-brainer. So what are the benefits of multifamily, you may ask? Number 1, cash flow. Apartments generate monthly income. The money rolls in every month. Number 2, control. You have the ability to control every decision that affects your investment. Number 3, tax advantages. Number 4, economies of scale. It's much easier trying to collect rent from 30 tenants in one apartment building rather than running all across the city to collect from single-family homes. Number 5, ability to force the appreciation. The value is not reliant on comps, as it is the ability to increase the value through growing the net operating income. And finally, number 6, velocity of money. This refers to the ability to refinance a property, withdraw the equity, maintain control of the asset, and invest the refinance proceeds into another property. Banks are ideal examples of velocitizing money. They borrow funds from their customers and lend the proceeds out to individuals looking for loans. Now that you've seen the incredible benefits that are associated with multifamily investing, how do you calculate the value? In 3 words, it's all about net operating income. Net operating income is defined as annual income generated from a property less total operating expenses. Another thing you should know when evaluating a multifamily property is the cap rate. The cap rate is the return on an investment property based on the income. Cap rates are specific to a market and are affected by the type of property class, whether A, B, C, or D. A broker should be able to tell you the cap rate in your market. Property classes go like this. A properties are the newest, shiniest assets. They contain amenities and cater to white-collar workers. Expect low cap rates, around 2 to 4. This class of asset is poor at cash flowing, but has the ability to appreciate greatly. Investors choose A properties to maintain wealth, not create it. Then there's B properties, homes built within the last 20 years. This class caters to both white and blue-collar workers. This type of property may show a bit of deferred maintenance, but overall, it has a nice mix of cash flow and potential appreciation. Look for cap rates around 5 to 7. And then there's C properties. These are usually properties that are 30 plus years old and have deferred maintenance issues. Cap rates hover between 8 to 10 on these properties. And finally, D properties. These are the lowest class properties. They are usually located in inner cities where it's difficult to collect rent and vacancy rates are high. These properties are highly management intensive and the tenant base is often difficult to deal with. Investors get lured into investing in these properties due to the low prices, but soon realize they got more than they bargained for. Remember, the goal is to increase the net operating income by either increasing revenues or by decreasing expenses. You are trying to force the appreciation of the asset by increasing the net operating income. There's a term being thrown around, which is reposition. When you reposition an asset, you are adding value by changing the appearance of the property or the operations of the property, all to increase that net operating income. You are focusing on the value adds to the property. Here's some examples of value adds: adding upscale touches, such as two-tone paint and upgraded kitchen floors, or offering amenities such as a fitness center or clubhouse, or generating new sources of revenue such as laundry, pet fees, late fees, application fees, and storage fees, or repositioning a C property into a B property. All the value adds I just listed should focus on either increasing the revenue or decreasing the expenses. One of the biggest mistakes investors make is to over-improve a property without focusing on the ability of the improvement to increase revenue. Ouch! Now let's tackle how to calculate the value of a property using cap rates. You would take the net operating income of the property and divide it by the cap rate. For instance, if the property has a net operating income of $150,000 and the cap rate was 6, the property value would be $2.5 million. If the net operating income increased to $180,000, which is $30,000 more, the property value would increase to $3 million. Cap rates have an inverse relationship with market value. When cap rates compress, as we are witnessing in the current real estate market, the value increases and vice versa. Food for thought. In life, it's not what you buy, but what you pay that is critical to the success of any investment. Remember, at the end of the day, it's all about the income versus the expenses. Now, your task is this. Decide now that you are ready to invest in apartments. Seek out websites such as Big Pockets to begin your education. Immerse yourself in podcasts and books that focus solely on multifamily investing. Learn how to analyze deals. Begin to visit websites that list multifamily properties such as Realtor.com to become familiar with your market and the players in your market. Start networking with these individuals and ask them to start sending you deals to analyze. Formulate a business plan and strategy and how you will create value once you begin investing. Investors, do you choose to invest in multifamily real estate? Why or why not? Please leave your comments below. Next up, 5 more things everyone should know about condo ownership, but no one tells you. Number 1, condo rules should be read. We'd all assume the board members and management read the governing documents, but if you didn't read them, they probably didn't either. Read them. Even if you have to read them with a glass of wine, read them. Read the recorded documents and make sure you have a current copy of the house rules. These typically aren't recorded, but they include important rules regarding pets, rentals, etc. Number 2, you have no power alone. As a condo owner, you have few powers actually. You have the collective power to remove an officer, amend your governing documents, and vote on a special assessment or capital improvement. Other than that, the daily operations are left to the board. To make a long story short, if you want changes to occur, I suggest you attend board meetings, participate in a committee, attend the annual meetings, and reach out to your board members and find out how you can help between elections. Stay involved. There's a level of accountability when the board has active members to answer to. Number 3, your unit is a bubble. While your bubble may be perfect, the surroundings may pose a real threat. You might find yourself with a pretty unit in an ugly building. At the time of purchase, your home inspector's there to make sure your dishwasher works and your hot water tank isn't ancient. That's it. They don't check the condition of the building. There's very few ways for a buyer to ensure that the building isn't leaking or has some other material defect, unless you spend thousands of dollars on an engineering study, which I don't recommend. Here's what you do. Be your own detective. If you're about to purchase a condo that was built in the 70s that's never had its siding replaced, there's your first clue. Your best bet is to find a building that's been through this process already. While that may not insulate you from all issues, it'll give you a running start. Number 4, silence won't ever happen. People make noise when they're alive. Don't buy a condo unless it's in a steel and concrete building. Buy a house in the middle of nowhere if you want complete silence. Otherwise, welcome to community living. And number 5, you should know how to read the reserve study. The reserve study bases their report on useful life, not current condition. If your courtyard is full of cracks and it leaks into the garage, you might be replacing that sooner than you think. But read it anyway. Take the reserve study, though, with a grain of salt. Investors, anything you'd like to add to the list? Be sure to leave your comments below. And lastly, 4 things to do with extra cash in a low inventory housing market. Number 1, pay down loans. If you are a buy and hold investor with multiple mortgages, consider paying down your loans with extra cash flow. By directing all excess cash flow toward one loan and then moving to the next, i.e. the snowball method, you can make great strides toward owning your properties free and clear. It's also important to take into consideration your overall investment portfolio and making this decision, i.e. your stocks, bonds, precious metals, etc. Examining the opportunity costs of each option will help you determine what the best thing is for you. Number 2, consolidate. When housing inventory is low, it's a perfect time to sell, especially in areas where the overabundance of buyers and investors leads to bidding wars. It may be in your best interest to unload a few properties while the market is still out of balance. Make sure not to forget to examine the opportunity cost of freeing up your capital. Consolidating would make more sense if your goal is to work on a bigger project, such as an apartment complex or an office building, selling off a few smaller properties now to raise capital. Number 3, consider alternative methods. The customary advice given to investors when there aren't many deals to be found in one area is to simply invest in another area. For those in areas with high cost of living and pretty crazy real estate prices, such as Manhattan or Silicon Valley, that is probably a wise choice. However, many investors are weary of out-of-state investing. However, there is an alternative way that is gaining more steam. Real estate crowdfunding. Platforms such as Ground Floor and Realty Mogul, just to name a few, are catching on as a way to match real estate developers, rehabbers with investors who are looking for a decent return on their money. Title III of the Jobs Act went into effect in May, effectively allowing non-accredited investors to invest their money via these crowdfunding sites. There are still limitations in place to protect the investors that restrict the amount of capital they can invest, but it is a start. And finally, number 4, network. While this may not directly be a job for all your extra cash, networking strategically can help you access off-market properties. Some sellers may not want to list their home on the MLS, so the more people you know who know you're in real estate, the better. Investors, what do you focus on when inventory is low in your market? Let us know with a comment. Well, that's this week's recap. Did you find this recap helpful? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for listening and have a great day.
This has been your weekly real estate investment news recap. Did you find this recap helpful? Please like or comment below this video to enter to win a free copy of our ebook, The Ultimate Real Estate Guide for Residential Real Estate Investments. You can also subscribe to our channel or go to our website to receive the latest in real estate news. Our website also affords you the opportunity to view our latest turnkey properties.